Hi, welcome to Glimpse TV. I'm Kate Northrup, and I'm here with the beautiful and vivacious Tanya Geisler. Tanya is an incredible coach hailing from Toronto, Ontario, and her tagline is, "Life is a grand production. Step into your starring role." Thank you for being here with me.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, I'm so happy. So we just did maybe I'll show an outtake at the end. We did this ridiculous thing where we were lying on our bellies on the stairs. And here's what's so great about Tanya. She looked at me in the middle of it and she just stopped mid-sentence and was like, is this working? This isn't working. So how do you bring that into your life? That ability to be like, sensing the energy and stopping if something isn't working. How do you do? Can you give me an example?
How did you just do that, though? How did you just go from, like, here's what we're going to talk about, and then boot to the like, just, you brought that. You are skillish, honey.
Thank you.
Are skillish.
Okay, skillish. I've never heard that one before.
Skillish, baby, skillish.
Okay.
As a coach, you have to, right? As a coach, you have to. As a human being functioning in society, we just listened to a really interesting conversation. I'll move names because, of course, clearly I'm going to. So Jonathan Fields.
I like moving names instead of dropping names.
Oh,
that's really a profound difference, actually. Yeah. Moving names.
Oh, I like that.
I don't know. It's kind of cool. Anyway.
I like that. So we were just listening to Jonathan Fields speaking with.
I think it was Susan Johnson.
Kane.
I heard the name Johnson. We can edit it.
Hi. So we're at WDS, first of all. We're in Portland for the World Domination Summit, so we may do that a little bit, which is kind of irritating, because we really want you to feel like we're here, actively participating here, and
we're on a stoop.
That was Colleen Wainwright, dominatrix, communicatrix.
She's not a dominatrix.
Communicatrix.
I'll put a link to her famous music video under this, because it's pretty freaking amazing.
But I'm not the only person who's ever called her dominatrix.
No, I'm sure she does.
So that's going to happen, and I'm sorry for that. And further to the point about reading energy.
Jonathan Fields.
They were talking about introverts and extroverts, and one of the biggest takeaways that I took away, which is what we tend to do, takeaways, is that I think it's really important to it was kind of implied, this is what I walked away with, is that there's a way in which we need to be sensitive, or at least aware energetically of where another person is.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Right?
And you know what? You think that that's like, actually, here, I'm just going to, only because sometimes I get production tips from my readers who say, like, the thing about the law of thirds. Anyway.
Oh, and stop moving.
So I just
like that.
have to do that. So here I'm just going to do, good. We can edit as needed.
Yeah.
And I've lost my train of thought.
You were asking about being able to read something and then shift and move
So
on.
how do you, okay, so I know how to do that. I know how to read the energy in a situation and know when to stop. But I have found that is not an ingrained skill, and some people don't have it. So if you are a person who finds yourself like a year into something and you're like, shit, I should have stopped a year ago, or you find that you put too much into something that you knew wasn't working a long time ago, what are the signs that it's not working, and how do you stop when the momentum is moving?
Okay, so first of all, because it's called dissonance.
Okay.
You're in this place of like shit, and it can be very cumulative. I think we stay in things because we are so fearful of quitting, because quitting's for losers, dude. Right? Quitting's for losers. So when you make that decision to quit whatever, the job, the relationship,
even a project,
the project. A Glimpse TV episode that was really quite cute with like lots of celebrities walking by. Oh, I'm gonna tell you, Brene Brown, honey.
Yeah.
You just gotta quit. You just gotta quit. Move on. But with forgiveness and generosity, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you must forgive yourself. You must forgive yourself for having that judgment, that place of, if I quit, I'm a loser. No, you know what really is going on there? If you've got that belief that has held you in a space, so already you're beating yourself up because you've been in this place and you're like, why did I stay in this awful job for such a long time, right?
Right. That creates more dissonance.
Totally.
So to let it go with forgiveness and
honor that value that maybe, maybe it was really more about you have a strong value of commitment or loyalty or something else that has you stay in something. So just acknowledge,
right,
move on.
Right.
Go.
Beautiful. Are there any projects now? I know when I met you first, we met at coffee in Toronto. It was great, and we
laughed, we cried.
We laughed, we cried. It was like the best first date ever. Yeah. And you talked about, at that time, you were getting ready to launch your first digital product, and you had a lot of resistance about it. And I'm wondering, and you have now launched that product, which we're going to talk about in 30 seconds, but I wanted to know, was there anything that you scrapped along the way?
Yes. Many things are on the cutting room floor. And I do this with my clients a fair bit when we're sort of in that place of overwhelm, your project load, within the project, whatever it is, and it's just this this isn't working. Something about this is working. My life isn't working. There's something spring clean. And not the Mama Gina spring clean, which I totally have.
I know, because I'm like,
yeah,
I only know the one kind.
But there is a way in which I suspect it's rather similar. It's hello. Sorry. We're really here. Yeah. So what are all the pieces that are going on right now, and what has to stay, right? So imagine you're literally cleaning out your office or cleaning out that awful drawer,
yeah,
the drawer, and not that drawer. That's a whole different story.
Yes.
Later. So have 4 separate metaphorical piles. This is like an absolute must keep.
Right, like you can't throw out your kids, for example.
Right.
Like if you're looking at your time priorities.
Yes, you cannot. Absolutely.
Right.
And what is the thing that you know already that you cannot wait for me to say? Throw that out. Just get it gone. Don't even think about it. Right.
Yeah.
So keep pitch, long-term storage for like.
And someday maybe, as David Allen calls it.
Someday maybe. And then the shelf. Just put it on the shelf. Just take this part and put it on the shelf. Make a beautiful box for it. And devotionally say, I'm coming back to you, baby. I got you. I'm coming back to you.
Right.
So there are a lot of things on that shelf.
Yeah.
And there are some things that are in deep storage, but I know that that's actually just buying some time. And there are a lot of things about the product that I just had to absolutely say no to. And it was hard and it was painful because I had the story that it had to be a certain way.
Right. And then what stayed? Because talk about this product. It's called Board of Your Life, which I think is a genius title, but it's not what you think.
What do you think?
Well, because when I say Board of Your Life, it sounds like you're like, snooze, like my life is boring, but it's not that.
Which, of course, is why this works, because this program is all about helping you. Okay, so you're somebody who's in some sort of transition. Maybe you don't know what you want to do next. Maybe your marriage just broke up after 25 years, and you're like, who am I now? So the program is about bringing a group of people that know you in different iterations, from different capacities, and we have this gorgeous brainstorming session about you, about glorious you. So there's a whole process that you go through, which is your own self-discovery and where you've been and where you're not going back to because you've thrown that out, and where you really want to be going. And then we have we gather this group, and when we share, like when we've seen this person in flow and when they're really powerful and what we want to see more of.
Yeah.
So telling what we want to see more of. Oh.
And so the truth is, like, none of us really can see ourselves clearly. Would you agree with that?
I would absolutely agree.
Which is why this is so valuable, because have you ever had those experiences? I'm sure you have, but I'm asking you, the viewer. Have you ever had those experiences where somebody says something to you and it lights up a part of yourself that you knew existed, but you take for granted. But then when that's reflected back, you actually can hear it or see it or feel it. And so that's what this experience is about. And you will lead people through it one-on-one, or you can be led through it through the digital experience, Board of Your Life.
Yes.
And there's a link below this video to check that out.
I love it so much. I love it. And people that go through it. One of the most magical things that happens is this group wants to see you. I mean, my fundamental belief, like whatever else I say, my most fundamental belief is that everybody wants you to be your very best.
Of course.
Yeah. You know that, right?
No matter how much we would delude ourselves otherwise. I'm just going to move this out slightly because I want to make sure your beautiful face is in the screen.
It's a full face.
It's
and it's beautiful. That's all good.
beautiful. I meant the whole thing. I also have a full, beautiful face. These cheeks are just like...
These cheeks are made for talking, baby.
These cheeks are made for talking. That's a tweetable.
That's
below the video. Okay.
Where were we?
Well, we were talking about how much you love it because the people who've experienced it. Tell us a few little snippets.
Okay, so here's the thing. When I say that you're actually going to get these group of people around you, you're going, holy shit, there's no way I could ask anybody to do that. It is such a sublime dinner with Kate. It just popped up.
Great. We're going to have dinner later.
Squirrel.
Yeah, I know. No, but you were talking about the power of asking people for this to show up for you. What's that like for people?
Well, it's very scary. It's very scary to even to get their head around, oh, I actually have to ask somebody for something, and it's going to be all about me. It can't be all about me, right? We're totally conditioned.
Right,
it's not supposed to be, but, yeah.
Even just thinking about it, I'm like, oh my God. And how long does it typically last?
So the actual session is 3 hours.
Okay.
Part of the if you go through the program yourself, and I'm not facilitating it, or a coach isn't facilitating it for you, you do need to find a facilitator. So here's the juicy, gorgeous yumminess of it, though. You're giving, okay, God, it sounds so infomercially, but you're seriously giving somebody the gift when you say, you know what, I trust you, I respect you, I want you to help me make this change.
Totally.
Oh my God, like I get kind of goosebumps because it's really, really it's a beautiful invitation.
It's an honor.
It's a total
It's
honor,
really an honor.
right?
Yeah.
It's a total honor to support you in your transfer in your path and your process. Oh my God, it's a total honor, and they've been waiting so long.
Yes, people are desperate to give their opinion and what they think. Are you kidding me? Like it's so great. Yeah.
And the secret surprise, like the fortune cookie yumminess at the end, is that everybody that goes through the program walks away asking themselves the same glorious life-affirming questions.
Right.
And they go through their own process.
Oh, that's cool.
It's so
I hadn't
cool.
thought of that. That's awesome.
When am I in flow? What are people thanking me for? When am I at my very best? Like, just yikes. So it's a really beautiful thing, and I've been having women go through it as like girls' weekends kinds of things. It's been amazing. It's been amazing to see how people are interacting with it.
That's amazing. Congratulations on
Thank
the
you.
launch, because I know that we talked about it. Well, it was actually about this time last year, because we met in April, I believe, of 2011.
Yes.
And then so it took about 12 months for it to be birthed.
Well, one of the biggest things I had to let go of was the fact that I was the only one who was going to be able to do it. Like, that was big. That was big, right? Like, I was the only one.
Right.
Only I could facilitate this.
Oh,
nobody else
so
could
to let go of the control of knowing that it could actually work with absolutely. And that's so beautiful, because you serve so many people, so many more people, when you release that need to be like in control, and then now you have leverage, which is great.
I have leverage
from
in
a business perspective.
Leverage is good. Yes,
leverage is really good.
And then there's room in my heart, because honestly, it was taking up a lot of space. 2008, I came up with this. 4 years.
Brene Brown said something so brilliant this morning, which is
really, she said something.
Just this one brilliant thing she said, which is unexpressed creativity is not benign. So, you holding on to that project any longer, would actually, it does begin to erupt as discomfort, as possibly physical illness, as criticism, as judgment, as stuckness. Do you experience that working with your clients?
Absolutely. So it's just, and that was actually a really strong piece for me, was realizing I needed to be in integrity with my clients, that I keep saying, launch it, just just release it. So one of the things that has I launched it in a very I did a really big web launch last year that was very military precision. It was like I did everything exactly as it was supposed to be, and I was like, it was beautiful. And this one I just kind of slipped into the water. It's awesome. Whoever's
like
gonna find it,
stealth missile.
Yes.
Well, it's not a missile. It's like a total gift.
So I'm madly in love with it, and it's
I love it. That's so great. Okay, so click below and check that out. I want to ask you 2 last questions.
Yes.
One of them is, what do you love about your life?
What a great question. What I'm loving about my life is the way in which it's a fairly recent thing. I'm absolutely embracing the the goat cheese, like the chèvre, and the cheese whiz.
That's amazing. Can we get a little Velveeta in there? Oh my god.
It's, a little bit of this, it's a little bit of this, it's a little bit of a
woo! Yeah.
And a little bit of a chill that shit out, right?
I love that.
So that's taken some time. It has to be, I mean, you have this and this,
right.
And it don't need to be this, and it don't need to be that. In fact, further to the extrovert-introvert thing,
yeah,
I'm a vert.
You're a vert.
Right?
It's neither one. It's sometimes this, it's sometimes that, and not making either one wrong, which is sort of the subtext of what I'm hearing.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And choice. And, so the whole tagline on my website is about stepping into your starring role. And there's a choice for there, too. It doesn't mean that you always need to be in the starring role. If you envision a stage, sometimes you want to be out there, and sometimes you want to be behind the scenes. It's okay.
Right.
It's totally okay.
Yeah, being okay with what is. Mm-hmm. And then when do you feel the most free?
Right now, in deep connection.
Yeah.
In deep connection. And that's with my daughter, that's with my husband, that's with friends. Deep connection, absolutely.
Yes. Beautiful.
So
good. So you can find Tanya at boardofyourlife.com, BOARD ofyourlife.com, and it's also, I imagine, TanyaGeisler.com. Would you prefer the TanyaGeisler.com? Does it matter?
Wherever they want to
She
find
has redirects. She's all over it.
All over
and check out her product. And you actually have this great new show that you've launched. Your TV show, which has a beautiful intro. So if nothing else, just check it out.
Yeah, just watch the intro and then just
no, watch the content too, because it's really good stuff. So she's got a lot of... Thank you, TGTV. So check that out as well. And thank you for being on my show. I'm just going to give you a kiss because I can't move my arms to hug you. Thank you. Okay. Hi. Oops. Okay, here's what's really weird about this interview. We can see ourselves. So, anyway, see, this is good. If I look at the camera and I look in your eyes, and can you do that? Or does that work?
Are we looking at each other?
Well, because that way I'm not looking at me, so it's less awkward.
Okay.
So, anyway, so Tanya has this business, then she's a coach, and her tagline is, life is a grand production, step into your starring role. And there is something really beautifully dramatic about you, but also down to earth. So I think it's actually quite perfect.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. And she hails from Toronto. And we have been, I'm going to tell the story, or why don't you tell the story of how we met?
Can we just tell the story of we're lying on
we're lying on some stairs.
There's a story implied, and I could just...
There are people, I'm like trying to make sure that I'm not... Anyway, we're lying on the stairs because this was actually, believe it or not, the best angle we could do because I left my flip cam in Maine.
And we adapt, right?
And we adapted because Tanya is the best guest ever and brought her own laptop so we could shoot this. Okay, so tell the story of how we met.
Okay. Which one?
Well, because it was after selling your soul.
Yes.
Remember, I was in Toronto, and then I decided I wanted to meet you, and remember?
Yes.
I don't know if it's much of a story other than it was just great.
Oh, and we cried, and we had
did I stop it?
No, I don't think so. So
we did cry.
So this is probably going to happen a little bit because we are with 1,000 of our closest friends. So, it was I got the loveliest email from Ms. Kate, and it was your friend of so-and-so. Do I really want to do that?
I don't know. You can if you want.
It just feels very FOMO.
What does FOMO mean?
Fear of missing out.
Let's talk about the fear of missing out. Okay, so here we are, and I know that we're at this World Domination Summit, which Chris Guillebeau created. It's a kind of like a bunch of really like people from Twitter.
Yes, yes.
I mean, let's be honest. And he said our common vibes are community, adventure, and creativity.
Service.
Oh, wow. I'm going to throw creativity in there.
Totally, absolutely.
Service.
Yes.
So that's what we have in common.
Yeah.
But you were considering perhaps not coming.
I was.
So how did that come up? Like, what made your decision to be here? And then how does that relate to FOMO, the fear of missing out?
Because I didn't want to miss out, period. And, I mean, the longer story is that, hi, Susanna Conway.
Hello.
Come say
Oh,
hello.
you're Skyping. I'll leave it to you. I've got to go inside and get ready.
Hi.
Hello.
Nice to meet. I'm gonna meet you.
Yeah,
Oh,
you-
I'm Kate.
I know you are.
Hi.
This is what this is kind of all about. Right?
I love that.
So this is what I didn't want to miss out on. I mean, I really didn't.
Yeah.
And, I even tweeted this right before I came. I said, I'm going to try to be really judicious about the use of the WDS hashtag because I know that feeling of missing out on the party, even if it was a really, really, really good reason. You know, you don't necessarily want to not have those shared memories, that shared experience. So
Right.
that was a factor. That was definitely a factor.
It's totally a factor. You know what's interesting, though, about the fear of missing out? I've been thinking about this a lot because I just left, not just, it's been a year and a half, but I left New York City, which a lot of people think is the center of the universe. Turns out it's not.
Shocking.
And that whole, a lot of people stay in situations that they aren't, necessarily totally, aren't necessarily serving them because of the fear of missing out. And I found that, now that I don't live in New York, I'm always missing something, but being anywhere, you and I are missing out on everything that's not happening right here, right now. So it's kind of psychotic, the whole fear of missing out thing. Do you think?
Yes. Okay, seriously, almost as psychotic.
Play on the stairs with white pants.
It's because we had to shoot a video, and this is the only way we can do it. We're shooting Glimpse TV right here on the steps.
That's funny. I'm going to let you be, hon.
I know. This was her suggestion, believe it or not.
White pants
Jen
on.
totally believes it.
White pants on.
I do have white pants.
They're going to be ruined. Well, I'll help brush you off, don't worry. Okay, we just had multiple celebrity sightings. That was fun.
Seriously,
Okay.
right?
So, what do you do with your clients? If I came to you and I was like, I am paralyzed because I can't make a decision because I'm always afraid of missing out on something, and so when I don't make a decision, I miss out on everything.
Right.
What would you say?
Right. So, I love what you said about choice, right?
Yeah.
I'm missing out right now on watching Brave with my kid and my husband. That's what they're
That
doing.
was a great movie. Have you seen it?
No.
Oh, go see Brave.
And of course, I was like, "You guys can't go while I'm in
Right.
Portland, right?
Right.
You can't go. You have
Right.
to save that for me." It's like, no, life needs to continue to happen.
Yeah.
So it really just comes down to choices. And Chris said it at the opening. You make choices to be someplace, or you make choices to stay. So either way, as long as it's an active, what I went through a process. I mean, I really was considering not coming, and I did the really old-timey pros and cons list.
You did? You actually did a pros and cons list.
Did the pros and cons list.
I love that.
It's very
How
old-timey.
practical.
Well, this is what I was saying. Simple
Yeah.
can be genius.
Yeah,
right?
no, simple is genius.
And really, what it came down to, there's a lot of really great reasons to be here. There's a really lot of great reasons, not getting my flight money back,
Yeah.
and so on and so forth. And I was telling you that I really wanted to I felt like I wanted to take my business, which is what I'm treating like my baby,
Yeah.
on a play date.
I love that.
Yeah,
Business play date.
This is what I'm holding the perspective that my business is a baby who needs tending and nurturing and care, and sometimes I make other things a lot more important.
Right.
So, what was this really going to be about? So I just really drilled down to what was important. How did I want to feel? All of those really great things.
Yeah.
Right?
How did you want to
How
feel?
did you want to feel?
What were some of the ways you wanted to feel this weekend?
Connected and immersed. Connected and immersed.
Connected and immersed. Connected and immersed. Those are good.
Yeah, connected and immersed, and certainly inspiration, certainly
Yeah,
inspired.
which is kind of a guarantee, but
It's
not necessarily, but
Well, I knew there was going to be this. I knew that because that was such a strong intention for me,
Right.
the immersion in relationships.
Yeah.
But so far, we've heard Brene Brown and we've heard Scott Morrison. And
Scott Harrison.
I think I tweeted the wrong person. Scott Harrison. Oh my goodness.
Scott Morrison must be somebody though, because that name sounds familiar.
Probably very, very intelligent.
Anyway,
human being,
Scott
lots of
Harrison
things.
of Charity Water.
Yeah.
Amazing.
It was amazing.
Talk. That was amazing.
It was mind blowing open, and that was the piece. There was a way in which part of the choice was what is the space? What's magically possible?
Yeah.
Right, and that's when you come to something like this. Kate.
Yeah.
this working?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
No.
I'm in pain.
Yeah, this is not working.